Hi there, welcome to my views on news. Two news stories for you. Firstly, Gachao, the Tigray president, he claims to be the president, has made some revelations about in which circumstances Pretoria agreement was signed. I think he uh, corroborated what I reported in 2022 when the agreement was signed. Immediately after the signing of the agreement, immediately after I read the agreement, I did a video on that. And back then, I remember uh, supporters of TPLF, supporters of Tigray forces, they criticized me a lot for analyzing that agreement. Now, Gitacho is confirming what I reported in 2022. Secondly, viewers, an Ethiopian opposition party, one of opposition parties, held its party congress in Addis Ababa today. It seems the party is seriously split. No opposition party is united, and no opposition parties are united against the Ethiopian government. While these parties are making preparation for the next election, there are serious splits within the parties and between parties. Let's start, viewers. Firstly, Gita Choreda is revealing secrets now. He's giving interviews. The man knows a lot about Tigray leaders, TPLF leaders, Tigray generals, though now his talk perhaps is just a talk. He cannot take action. He was in power during the last 2 years. He was an ally uh, of Tigray security forces. He was part of TPLF. Now he has turned against them, and he is revealing what happened during the war, after the war, how corrupt TPLF people are. But now his talks, his views, perhaps are not as important as they were when he was in power in Tigray. Now he's disgruntled, he's frustrated, he's been kicked out of Tigray. The people are not fully trusting his views, but what he's saying makes sense in some ways. Gachao talked about Pretoria deal, how Pretoria was signed, in which circumstance it was signed. What was the situation in Tigray when Pretoria was signed? How strong was Tigray militarily back then? Very important point, because TPLF, Tigray military, they always defend Pretoria, saying that Pretoria, through Pretoria, guns were silenced, but back then Tigray fighters were strong, Tigray forces were strong. Gita Choreda says, he said that in an interview. He says that when the day Pretoria deal was signed, Gitacho was negotiating, by the way, Gitacho, Sadka and others. They were negotiating in Pretoria, South Africa, Americans were there, federal government was there. Gitacho said he received a message from Debretsion Gebremichael, DPLF chairman. Debretsion said to Gitacho in that message that enemy has entered Adagarat today. And if you don't sign Pretoria today, we're heading to desert. So Debretsion basically said that we are on the verge of a defeat. We have left with no option but to start a similar struggle which we did during the first round of war. During the first round of war, you know that federal forces, EDF, territorial military, they took control of all main cities of Tigray. TPLF, Tigray fighters, they were forced to flee into Tambian, central Tigray, and parts of eastern Tigray. But in the second, then ENDF withdrew from Tigray, most parts of Tigray, EDF as well. After Ethiopian military's withdrawal, Tigray forces entered Mekelle, they entered other cities. And in the third round of fighting, TPLF was in control of Makale, other cities, but they were losing the control one by one. When Pretoria was signed, Makale was under TPLF control. So basically, Debretsion said to Gachao that his government, Tigray government, Tigray military was on the verge of a collapse and they were going to flee into Tambian if Pretoria is not signed. TPLF has been accusing Gachao that Pretoria was signed by Gachao and Sadkan, and they agreed on the dissolution of Tigray interim government and Tigray military. TPLF was not on board. This is not true. This is what Gachao is saying, that he was told that military was on the verge of a defeat, so he had to make concessions. Gachao, Sadkan. Obviously, military was part of discussions too. Gachao alone did not sign the deal. And when Pretoria was signed, I did a video, I remember that day. I said, this is the deal of capitulation. Tigray forces are suffering a defeat. They're on the verge of a collapse. That is why they have signed this agreement. They agreed to dismantlement of Tigray forces because they know that they could be defeated. So they had to make concessions at the table with federal government in Pretoria. That was my reading in 2022. For sharing that reading, Pretoria, I faced lots of criticism from Tigray loyalists. They boycotted my channel. They said, we're leaving. You are against Tigray. You're against Tigray interests. Now time has proven my reading was correct back then. Gachao confirming. I think a layman back then knew what was happening on the ground. So lies are lies. You cannot cover up lies. Lies always come out. They're disclosed. Anyway, Gachao is defending Pretoria, saying that he negotiated because he had the support, the backing of TPLF, Tigray military. But now these people are distant. They are saying they were not part of the deal which was signed in Pretoria. Secondly, viewers, an Ethiopian opposition party has held a party congress. Main party leaders, at least one, did not attend the party congress. Name of the party is NAMA, National Movement of Amharas. NAMA is the only main opposition party in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. NAMA is led by Belete Mola. Small party. Party has been under strict crackdown too because its leaders have been accused of supporting Fano. Christian Tadale, one MP of this party, has been in prison for over a year. Another one, Daslan Chane, was also arrested, but he was released. Ethiopian federal government federal forces accused NAMA party officials, workers of supporting Fano. President Tadale was also accused of supporting Fano against the Ethiopian security forces. NAMA was split. There were splits in NAMA. NAMA could not hold a party congress. It held a party congress, but some party members, they filed a case against that congress. Now, when election is approaching, party needs to hold a congress. Party leader Blatemola is an ally of Ethiopian PM. He's Minister of Technology, I think, at Pimabi's cabinet. The party held a congress today in Addis Ababa. Melkamo Segai has been appointed as party's deputy chairman. Balatemola as chairman. Continuing. 9-member executive committee of the party has been chosen. There is no Dasal Chane. Interestingly, the strongest voice which represents NAMA is Dasal Chane. Whenever parliament sessions are held, he is an MP, member of House of Representatives, People's Representatives. Whenever parliament meets, whenever questions are asked by MPs, Dasselin is at the forefront, and he mostly asks questions critical of the Ethiopian government, accuses the government of committing atrocities in the Amhara region, killing people in the Amhara region. In the latest session of the parliament, when PM Abiy delivered a speech, I think Dasselin asked a question, a long question. PM Abiy responded in a manner, befitting manner. Though PM Abiy, it seemed as if he was threatening Dasselin challenge. Dasselin is one of the main party leaders, but he is no more in party's central structure. Not chairman, deputy chairman, not in party's executive committee. It means Dasselin Chane has no future in the party. Will he accept this party congress? Will he file a case at Nebbe against this party congress? Will Nebbe accept the congress? Nebbe will have to accept the congress for Nama to contest next election. Let's see. Only Prosperity Party, I think, has managed to hold its congress in a manner which is acceptable to Nebbe, perhaps. Other opposition, other parties are in the process of holding congress. TPLF split, Nama split. Oromo opposition parties, they have not held a party congress this year, I think. It means that opposition parties are not preparing for election. They don't believe in election. They don't believe that election can lead to real change, that election can be held in a transparent manner in Ethiopia. That is why they are hoping to reach some sort of agreement with the government behind the scenes. And when you are a government ally, NABE will pave the way for you to contest the election. Thank you for watching.